Well, the chook yard is finished and all the chooks are in there and they're as happy as Larry or as Harriet, depending on how you name your chooks. I've still yet to put the chicken wire over the top, but as a temporary measure we've got the netting over the top, and I'll show you that now. Just have a look at this. That's this end of the chook yard. It's 7 metres wide and 17 metres long, and you can see all the happy little chookies in there. You can see I've constructed it with stays at each corner, concreted into the ground. It's as solid as a rock. And this is the door. The door came straight off the old tennis court, and I just put this post around it and then the post to the side of it. Here's one of the more tame chooks. She'll come right up to you. I think she's after some food, but I don't know what that is on the ground there. If it's not food, I suppose she thinks she wants a bit of company from us. Yeah, there's one of the stupid roosters. Off with its head, I say. But Lisa wants to breed with them. There you go. I want to put them in the cage over the other side so they're not quite so disruptive. I'm sure the neighbours are delighted with the conversation they get with the rooster. But here's one of the stays I've put down. Now how this is going to work is, can't quite see it from here, but there's a wire going across the top there. You may be able to see it over there with a shadow of it on the netting. But the wire comes across the top, and then I've got a stay that comes down here and it goes into a star dropper in the ground there. And the same thing over the other side to hold it in place, and I've got a clip around the top of the star dropper up there to hold it. Oh, here's this chook again. He wants to have a conversation with me. Hello, chookie. Yes. What are you after? You've got plenty of food in there, haven't you? I think she's quite happy, but she likes the people's company. I think she was hand reared by some children, so it would rather be with us than with its fellow chooks. So yeah, I put a clip around it to stop it going from side to side. You see that there, just a bit of wire tied around it. So this actual chook house here met a bit of a disaster. I had it over the other side of the creek, and it was facing roughly the same direction, which is northeast, and there was a strong easterly wind came along and whipped it over and threw it down into the valley, and I had to drag it out with a tractor, but it didn't suffer much damage. The front of it was bent back over the other corner. You can see where it's bent down over there. Yeah, that was bent back, but other than that it survived quite well, and I brought it back up here with the tractor, and it's perfectly fine. It's not exactly flat, but I don't think it needs to be. It's fine. Water doesn't get in it. It's waterproof, and it's quite dry. So we put some fine netting on the front to stop the rats getting in. So once it's closed, it's pretty much impervious to rats, but they're digging under the floor, as you can see here. They're digging under the skirt that I put down. So what I'm going to do is going to concrete the floor in. I'm going to get some fill to put in to stabilise the floor, and then put some concrete in there to give it a nice concrete base. And what that'll do is it'll make it completely impervious to rats. They won't be able to get in at all. and any holes like this around the side where the water goes in, I'll just fill them up with foam film. But as you can see, it's nice and stable, it's nice and solid. That's not going anywhere. It'll survive an earthquake, and the chooks are quite secure in there. The predators can't get in, like chicken hawks and the like. They've been stealing our chickens, and the rats can still get in. The chickens were getting out, but I clipped the base again. They were getting out along the edge here, but I clipped the base back and pushed it down, and it's fine. Yeah, there's plenty of room in there for them. They get plenty of food. And the other good thing about this the fact that it's completely enclosed is that the birds no longer steal their food. We used to probably lose about half of the chicken feed to birds getting in. But now, of course, the birds, the little sparrows and things can get in, but the birds that were getting and stealing the food can't get in anymore, so they've got tons of food in there, and we saved a huge amount of money on food. This, as I mentioned in the previous video, is an old tennis court. Pulled it down and put this up for the chickens. These beams are probably a bit weak, they're sagging a bit, as you can see, so I'm going to probably put star droppers in the centre there just to hold the beams up, secure it to the beams so that holds them up. They don't move around too much. That should be fine. So that's the new chook house, and that's fine. Here's what we call the potteroo enclosure, and it has some chooks in it, but we're going to take all the chooks out and either sell them or put them in the other enclosure. There's a potteroo enclosure, little house there, and the chooks are escaping a little bit. As you can see, you've got birds in there, doves and things in there stealing the grain. That's no good. So a lot of rubbish in there at the moment. We'll get all of that out and put the feeders and things in there. The sheep are wandering about the place. They want some food. They're complaining that they're hungry. So Lisa hasn't fed them yet today. Here's where one of the stands of she oaks were that we cut down. These are a pest, and they spread all of this here, along here, along there, all of that shrubbery, all of that wood, all of that came from one central she oak that was in the centre there. You can see where the stump is just left there in the centre. That was the original she oak that gave rise to this whole stand. Cut all of that down. The melaleucas here, they're fine. Quite nice trees, these melaleucas. Good for birds, good for animals. The animals can hide in there, the birds, and rest in there, form nests. Got a few of these on the property. They got the stand here, and it goes all the way down there, the other side of the wood pile and the wood shed, and the other side of that pile of earth there. That's one stand. Then we've got another one down near the fence down behind me, way down the other side. So this is wood, a lot of wood for the wood this end is dry and will be going into the fire this year, and then going up to the wood that we cut later last year, and that's still wet, and then that's a new pile down there. This was moving up there, is getting a bit far up, so started a new wood pile down there. Just zoom in a bit so you can see it. There we go. So this is a pretty typical Saturday for us. Lots of birds, sound of a bit of machinery in the distance. You can get some of the sound of the town up here, but not much. There's a village down that way. This is one of 3 rounds of wood that came up from the creek last weekend. And if you look at this is, most of this on the end here is the wood that I've cut up from the big log that fell down last year. Posted the video of that earlier. If you look up in the archives, you'll see that video. I've been splitting it up. I've been taking a wedge and splitting it into smaller pieces so that I can get it on the log spreader, so that I can manhandle it up there. You can see it's fairly well splitting really well. It's a bit rotten in the centre, but apart from that, there's quite good firewood in there. But it's got some nice splits around the side. These splits around here that come around this way, these are the ones that are easiest to split. The ones that are hardest to split are the splits that come out this way. And out there, they will split out there. Then I'll do some splitting around this way, and that splits out quite easily. So that's Saturday morning on the farm. I'll just take you up the top to show you the view that we get. There you go, it's a typical view from the farm. It's nice, you can see from Mount Lofty over there, right through to Port Stanback over there, which is quite a large landscape, quite a large view. It's not too bad. If you were to build a new house, this is where you would put the house, and you'd have a fantastic view. Wake up to this, and the sound of birds in the distance.